Why? Why? Why, football gods? Why? Once again, you do this to us. What it do, y'all? It's your boy Nikolai. Y'all already know, Mr. Recencio. You know him here, ready. Give you all my Cowboy insight, knowledge, opinion, all that good jive. On a bad day, it is not Victory Monday. It is Cowboys are knocked out of the playoffs once again Monday. Familiar place that we've been, this place of frustration, of uncertainty, of just overall exhaustion, man. We put a lot into this as Cowboys fans. We really do. Especially us fans who've never seen our team go to the NFC Championship, go to the Super Bowl. Like we don't have no reference to that, right? All the Cowboys fans that are older than like 35, maybe you could say I seen it, I remember it. I mean, cool. But this is for all those who we've been in the drought almost our whole life, right? This is for y'all. We deserve so much better. Here we go. Let's talk about what happened, whose fault it is, what to expect from me going forward, because that's it. It's the off season. It's done. It's finito. I know some of y'all who are new to this, right? Y'all might still feel like y'all are dreaming, maybe. Just wake me up. It's really not Monday. It's still Saturday. Games tomorrow. Pinch me. Is this real? It's real. It's real. It happened. Once again, it happened. Another year down the drain. We had it all right in front of us. I think that's the most frustrating thing about this, and will always be the most frustrating thing, is that when you make the playoffs, everything's right in front of you. It's just win, baby, win. Now everything is uncertain going on into next year. Who are we going to retain as players, as coaches? How's the draft going to go, right? It's not like the NBA draft where it's a lottery thing. And even if you are one of the teams that make it to the postseason, you still have a chance of getting a high draft pick. Nah, it's not like that. Now we're going to be once again in the latter part of the first round, and as y'all know, it's just the latter part of the second, third, fourth. So it's we always really got to draft well. You can't expect for the players just to come out and be these blue chip players, because we're most likely going to be on the fringe of acquiring those type. We got to find the steals of the draft. That's just one portion of uncertainty that we're going to be dealing with. It sucks, man. It sucks that everything that we built up to this point, that's it. Just throw it away. So that sucks, but hey, from what we know from returning players, which I'll get more into critiquing these players on an individual throughout the week, throughout the month, for at least the players that we know are going to return for sure. One player we know is going to return for sure. This is Dak Prescott. I mean, he's under contract, big contract. If anybody is out there thinking that we could drop him, trade him, y'all tripping. And I don't say that coming from a standpoint that I think Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. It comes from a place where I'm just thinking where y'all should be thinking where are we gonna get a quarterback that's better than Dak Prescott right now, this year, next year? The prospects of that happening, they're not there. We gotta ride with dude, and unfortunately, this game is all on him. Number 4, QB1. I've been up and down with Dak Prescott this whole season, more so because I've been doing this YouTube content, and I feel like I gotta be as subjective as possible. I mean, I've always been a Dak fan. I've always had his back, giving him the benefit of the doubt that it's players not being around him, whether that's wide receivers or defense or whatever, I don't know. But it's hard to give him excuses when it's been one of the biggest strengths of this team is our defense. Dan Quinn McVay, Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Diggs. Like, you can critique these players maybe, like Diggs, for instance. For whatever reason, Diggs kind of disappeared in the playoffs. His physicality, I mean, he wasn't ever really a physical player, but something was up with him. He didn't want to tackle nobody. He didn't want to go for any 50-50 balls that were thrown. He just seemed very standoffish these playoffs, right? Again, I can critique all these individual players on our defense, but as a whole, our defense really played well this year, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, we saw what the 49ers were doing to teams offensively. You know, they were having their way with them. And we played well enough to keep them down below 20 points. I mean, again, that's top tier defense right there. Turpin. Look, y'all can trip and y'all can say, oh, Turpin could have had that touchdown. At minimum, to have good field position is what we want each time we're fielding kicks. And he did that. He gave us the best field position that we could have, man. Series and series and series again. And Dak Prescott, man, number 4, bro. You let us down. Look, being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, it's not easy. I mean, by all means, as fans for you and as humans and just people in general, like, we should be checking on you. We should be making sure you good, right? Because to have the whole damn fan base, which is a huge fan base, like, going against you right now, that's tough, bro. It's tough, but hey, you signed up for it. You know what's up. I mean, last time I checked, I remember you was giving Tony Romo shit on the Twitter, right? When he was messing up. Like, this comes with the territory, you know. So, gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with the stink, with the funk. You in the trenches now. I wasn't the only one giving you the benefit of the doubt throughout your career. And you've gotten to this point now where you had no excuses. I just laid it out for you. Defense, special teams, we all did it for you this game. Even Maher, like, y'all, like, this whole mystique of him missing another kick in this game and stuff. He made the field goal that y'all fielded, that y'all had him out for. He made it. You know, we could all say, oh, it didn't look like he was going to make that first PAT, but it was blocked. We'll never know. No hypotheticals when it comes to that kick. It was blocked. So, for the most part, he did what he needed to do. That Michael Gallup pass that was intercepted, okay, that could be a Michael Gallup thing, okay. But bro, you gonna throw an interception in the red zone, in the playoffs, in the divisional round, when we could have been up 3 points at that point. Our defense just play the way they were playing, and you never know, man. It might have been same score, but just the other way around. You just don't do that, dog. You don't do that, bro. And, like, you were so good at protecting the football in the early portion of your career. Reading instead of reaching. Much as these players say they don't pay attention to the noise and whatever, like, they do. They just do. And I think that's what happened with you, dog. Because we all heard it. I mean, the dinking and dacking phrase was coined by Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. At the end of the day, us fans, you think we cared? Like, that whole superficial stuff, like, oh, is Dak Prescott a top 10, a top 5 quarterback? Bro, like, who cares, man? It works for you to just read and react and chip away at the field. I understand the flip side of it. We could be up on teams 40 to something, and hey, we'll win a lot of football games. Okay, cool, but we noticed that once we get to the playoffs, right, that type of mentality, that aggressiveness can bite you in the ass. So you gotta know how to do both. You gotta know how to turn it up when you need to, but understand that when things get to the nitty and gritty, you know, portion of the season where it's really good football teams against each other, the 49ers, the stout defense that they have, we're not gonna have our way with them. So you gotta be able to tone it down. Less is more sometimes. By all means, I would love for you to be a gunslinger and just score 40 points on teams all the time, each year, all year, get all your individual accolades, MVP, top 5 quarterback, top 3, man. Great. But again, man, like, what are you willing to sacrifice for a championship, right? I'm gonna give you 2 more years, bro. I kind of did the math. I kind of tried to equate this situation to the Romo situation. Romo, I want to say at the end of the 2013 season, going into 2014, like, it just clicked for him. He figured it out. He was dissecting defenses like no other. Nobody can argue against this for me. But it was his health. It was his back, the collarbone. It was all those things that kept him out. But he was doing it against defenses. So I try to equate that to this. When Romo started back in like 05, 06 to when he got up to that 2013-14 season. And it somewhat equates to Dak Prescott being given like a year or 2, a season or 2. To maybe it just clicks for him too, where he's not just reading and dissecting these inferior defenses, where he could do it to the best of them too. Because that's pretty much what it's been this year, is he demolishes these lesser teams, these lesser defenses. He looks like Peyton Manning out there, but when it's these better defenses, it looks like a backup out there, to be honest with you. So that's it for Dak. I wish you well. I hope that you don't take this all too much to heart and you try to, live your life because that's it, man. You're going against the grain. It's hard. It's hard for me to even talk about anything else on this team because, again, we played good defensively. And our defense gave it their all up until the last quarter where it was too much for us. Our tank was empty. Then they started just eating up that clock. And again, we found ourselves in a position to come back. And then, of course, last play, just let's do some clown shit. Why couldn't we do what we did against the Chargers last season, where Lamb, had that poster, that in where he takes it and he just yak, and then pitches it to someone else. At the time, it was Zeke. I'm not saying let's pitch it back to Zeke, but if y'all remember that play, that worked. That didn't look so damn clownish. Like, what are we doing, man? It's just if anything, let's talk about the coaching situation, right? We might lose Dan Quinn. Again, I'll talk on it. I'll speak on it once we find out more. Might lose him. If we do, then man, what are we going to do defensively? Because woo-wee, that's a scary thought. It's having a new coordinator come in and fuck it all up. I think we're all kind of, on the same page with this Kellen Moore situation. Hey, great, thanks. We're up there in the top 5 category of offenses for the past 2 years. Great. Didn't take us past the divisional round each year though, so I think we're down for something new, refreshing. Mike McCarthy, look, man, Mike McCarthy, can't be mad at the dude. When you want to talk about, again, people like to put everything on the head coach when we don't do well things, and then we forget to, give him praise when we are winning and doing great. But he brought in the culture. He 12-5 seasons. I mean, shit, we're doing something right. It's just that final little oomph. And this isn't on Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy ain't playing quarterback out there, right? This game was squarely on number 4's shoulders. Mike put us in position, and 4 didn't take advantage. So I'm not going to be upset if Mike McCarthy is our coach next year or the year after. It's cool. Again, if we can get us, if he can keep getting us to the playoffs each year, that's success from his part. Man, it's going to be a tough one. All right, I've already been trying to avoid the Stephen A. Smith videos, all these other Cowboy haters, and it's going to be a fun week for y'all. As we go forward along through the week 2, I'll talk more about maybe these teams that are still in the playoffs, try to switch it up a little bit, because I still like to talk football. Now that the Cowboys are done, I have no feeling of not trying to bring the focus out of them, all that superstition stuff. I could talk a little bit more about other players, other teams. Looking forward to seeing what's up next week, man, with the Eagles and the 49ers. To be honest, if I'm being honest, they deserve, both those teams deserve to be in the NFC Championship. Great rosters on both sides. It should be a hell of a game. Once again, condolences to all the Cowboys fans out there. Hey, I'm going through it too. We'll be all right, okay? It's another season. Eventually will come, and we'll see what's up with the draft, all that good stuff. Anywho, look forward to seeing more content from your boy, Mr. Asensio. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, do what it do. Because if you ain't helping me, I ain't helping you. All right, we out.